girlies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I didn't post last Friday, even though I said I was gonna post last Friday, so I just lied to you guys. But no, so I went to like a sleepover with my girlfriend because it was our 4-month anniversary and I had to, and I love her so much. But that's why I didn't post last Friday, but I said I would post this Friday, and I am gonna post this Friday. So today is gonna be some Reddit confessions because they're unhinged, really. And I wanted to share some crazy confessions. I haven't read it yet, so you're gonna get my honest opinion and my honest, maybe, advice. But I'm still working on my intro. But other than that, let's start. Okay, so I got the Reddit questions here. And before I start, I do want to show you when I was with my girlfriend, I broke off my nail. So I have one nail less than another.
Bruh.
So don't mind that monstrosity. But I'm excited. I only read the titles to this. I never read the story. I just copied and pasted so you guys can get my honest reaction. So let's go. I feel like I'm doing a podcast, but that's okay. I ruined a marriage over unpaid babysitting. I've never babysit before, so I don't know how many marriages have been ruined over the past year of babysitting, but I'm excited to read it, honestly, and it's pretty short, but I'm excited. I used to babysit for a couple whose husband was always away on business trips. The wife was cheating and constantly came home late. Guys, don't cheat. Just don't cheat. Constantly ignoring my extra hours and refusing to pay me. The final she's refusing to pay her because she's cheating. I'm snitching. I'll be snitching. And the final straw was when the 3 hours late and stiffed me on the spot again. The very next time her side guy came over, I snapped a clear picture of them together. I texted directly to her husband with a note. Since I'm not getting paid, thought you should see what she's been busy doing. Their marriage ended shortly after, and I considered my debt fully settled. So, okay. I don't blame her, because for one thing, she wasn't getting paid enough. Second thing is, the wife was just being, not there physically. But yeah, she's definitely been busy doing something other than parenting, that's for sure. I advise my younger audience to please cover their ears or click off or skip this video or skip ahead because okay. I find more joy in toying with women rather than having sex. Okay, this is not starting off well because if you put that as a title, you sound like a jerk. Literally a jerk. Player. But whenever I end up lying with someone that's supposed to be a one-night stand, I usually find myself edging them on purpose, putting my hands in all the right places. Okay. And making advantages towards sex just to not follow through, followed up by me just going to sleep. For the most sinister reason, this gives me a sense of relief and empowerment. And it truly makes me feel better than it would have had the sex. I'm just gonna keep my mind to myself. I truly haven't figured out why I enjoy this so much because at the beginning of summer, I had told myself these women are gonna pay for what my ex did to me. But rarely do. I actually like to follow through with intimacy because disappointing them makes me feel better. Okay. makes you feel better toying with women. Yeah, that's like a mature thing to do. Like at this point, like what should make you feel better is like grabbing some lotion, going to your room, put on porn, and jerk off by yourself if you want to be lonely. Like, okay. We ruined our 8-year friendship in a single afternoon. Okay. Brace myself for this one. My best friend Sarah and I were inseparable since 11. Everyone assumed we were a couple, but we generally just best friends. Her parents were extremely strict, but because they trusted me, we were allowed to hang out alone. So I'm assuming he's a guy? Because I don't think parents would make a big deal of girls staying in rooms together than they do with guys. So I'm assuming it's a guy. When we were 18, I took a break from all friendships because I needed some space for personal reasons. Fair. We didn't talk for months during that time. Sarah got really sick and spent a few hours in the hospital. She told her friends not to tell me, but one of them accidentally brought it up. So I brought her favorite stuff and went straight to her house. That's sweet. When she opened the door, she pulled me straight to her room. We were yapping like before, and then she told me that every time someone visited her in the hospital, she hoped it was me. She started hitting me with a pillow while crying. So, you're assaulting this man? He came in and gave me your favorite stuff and you insulted this man. Okay. I pulled her into a hug and gave her a quick kiss on the cheek. Not friends. Definitely not friends. I don't know. That doesn't sound friendly to me. Something happened. One thing led to another and we started kissing and touching. Okay. So, they made it from friendship to third base. Wow. Then her mom knocked on the door and invited to lunch. We stopped immediately. Lunch was awkward and I left right after. We never talked about it. Over the next few weeks at group hangouts, vibe was totally off. She became distant and eventually started ignoring me. I tried to fix things, but she kept pushing me away, so I gave up and we went silent. Months later on my birthday, she texted me and she confessed that around the time another friend had tried to force a kiss on her after she rejected him, which freaked her out and made her pull away for all guys. When I brought it up what happened in the room, she said, "It was you, I don't care." Yet she insisted that she had no feelings for me. Even though we both knew that wasn't true, she then asked, "Can you at least just be my friend?" Looking at everything that had changed, I told her no. Okay. Wish her well and cut all ties. It's been a few years, but every single year on my birthday, she still texts me a birthday wish from one of her friends' phones. Okay. So, yeah, that... I don't know what to say to that, honestly. I mean... She said she didn't have feelings, but we both know that's not true because I don't think friends kiss like that, honestly. Like, even if it was in the time of the moment, I don't think you'll be thinking about him enough to, like, kiss him, if you catch my drift. But definitely if you like someone, tell them cutely or something, and if you get rejected, that's fine. A little trick, if you can't take rejection pretty well, then just say on April Fool's that you like somebody, and if they reject you, then you can just say it was a prank because it's like April Fool's, or your friend dared you or something. We don't take rejection pretty well. A jellyfish traumatized me. Okay. I've never seen a jellyfish. I've seen them online and like photos and stuff like that, but I've never personally seen one. Yeah. So this happened when I was small. I visited a small island on the coast of Sri Lanka. If I'm saying that wrong, sorry, someone correct me. called Penguin Island, and there I got a chance to go scuba diving to see the local city. I could not go alone since I was small, so the instructor guided me as I swim till the water is deep. While we were quite far from the island, I ducked my head down to see what was under there, and I saw a tiny jellyfish near my goggles, and I had a panic attack. This is because I associate every jellyfish I saw to be deadly, and the jellyfish I saw was a moon jelly, completely harmless. I started trashing around, screaming, "Help me, I'm gonna die." And we both swam back to the island at the end of the day. I didn't get to see any fish, but my family got to see sharks and other cool shit. Okay. That sounds like me, because I'm a scaredy cat. I'm scared of everything, so that sounds like me. I literally can't walk alone. When I go home, like walk to the store alone, I have to get my dad. So, sounds like me. There's something I would do. I dug up my mother's ashes from the cemetery. I'm happy to announce I've never done that. Not once. I don't think I will. But like I was telling my cameraman earlier, some people actually buy bodies for like thousands of dollars to marry them off. Like if they're bodies, especially from like people that die, like famous people or something like that, they'll marry them off. So that's wonderful. My mother and her best friend passed away unexpectedly in 2005. So when I was born. I was 19 and an only child. It took several months to locate and move into my first apartment. And during this time, I entrusted my aunt to ensure her ashes were safe and undisturbed. The following Thanksgiving, she hosted at her house, and my grandparents, my mother's father and stepmother, also invited, were heading home. I asked my aunt for the ashes as I was now settled into my new place and living completely independently. Her face went blank, and she glanced over at my grandfather. That was when he told me that he had taken the ashes on his own account and buried them. I lost my shit. Absolutely distraught, completely upset. It felt like I had lost her all over again. She and my grandfather never had a positive relationship while active in the late 1950s. He kidnapped her from her mother and hit the road. I have no advice for that. She would tell me stories of his drinking, abusive tendencies, and the trail of women he would leave in his wake. She even went on to say if she could go the rest of her life without having to hear his voice, she could die happy. And now he had taken her again and buried her in a dark hole. Even though I was next of kin, he threatened me and said he would be checking the plot every time he visited and would put me in jail for grave robbing if I ever did so much as attempted to dug her up her ashes. Okay, but if she was already planning on keeping the ashes, why would you bury it? If you knew. And if you didn't have a relationship with the mom, like a positive relationship, what makes you have the right to bury her ashes? Like, his justification? I had her for 47 years. You only had her for 19. That sounds obsessive. Like, that sounds obsessive and an unhealthy obsession with her mother. Honestly. I never forgave him for this, and the following summer, I finally decided to do something about it. I reached out for her best friend and shared everything with her, and we made a plan for July 4th weekend. The plan was to buy some petunias and river rocks and make it appear as though we were decorating the gravestone. We were covering the bag of ashes in the urn that was buried a few feet below, and that's exactly what I did. I never told my aunt until after my grandparents were both gone, when she offered to hire a company to exorcism on my behalf. Yeah. I was once responsible for having a tenant kicked out. like everybody ever. Don't like the noise, kick them out. If you don't like how they look, kick them out. I don't know. I never told anyone this before, but you never told anyone this before, so you're telling Reddit? You don't have a therapist to tell this to? You only have Reddit? Basically, my parents rented a room outside the main house, and the guy who used to stay was a ladies' man. He used to bring a lot of different ladies. He's one of those. And when I would be back from university for holidays, I would hear sex noises almost every night. I would cry if I'd been hearing that every night outside my room. I would cry in my corner. Coming from his room in the AMs, I am a night owl. Anyways, I managed to convince my parents to kick him out. I told him he brings a lot of ladies and it's kind of disrespectful to do that in someone's backyard. Okay, the way you worded that makes it sound like he's doing it in the backyard. So, I'm hoping he does it in his house and not in the backyard. But the truth is, I didn't say all that because I believed it. But because I was just super jealous, he got laid all the time. And I wasn't getting any action in my life, and I did have a girlfriend. But that's a conversation you need to bring up with your girlfriend, my dude. Or girl. And my parents had actually never seen him with different women since he snuck them in at night. So no one saw him but me. And when they finally did kick him out after I kept pushing, I was glad. I manipulate my parents into getting what I want. That's the lowest I have been, and was like, yeah, I'm an asshole. But at the same time, why are you bringing different women in at night? Disturbing sleep, being that loud. Like, if you're gonna do it, be quiet. I had multiple occurrences of being offensive when I was younger. How offensive? I want to know how offensive. Because I think we all been mean to our parents when we were younger. But like, how offensive? Honestly though, guys, I would never have gotten away with that when I was young. To my nan, never gotten away with that when I was young. I would have met God. I would not be here today. Hi, I'm 18 now. But from a young age, of course I had a difficult upbringing and no siblings to really clock my tea or educate me on certain things. And I had restricted internet access. So when I think back to some of the stuff I said when I was younger, whether it was because of complete ignorance that it would be really offensive or because of false information or something. But I remember in freshman year, I asked my friend if we could mutually say something offensive to each other, insulting each other in a race. Way because I wanted to see how it was in the shoes of other kids who would, hopefully consensually, say stuff to each other. Yes, for the following I know we tried. She said something, I said something, and thankfully it didn't stick. I didn't mean anything I said, and neither did she. It's not something I hold against her at all because I consented, and it doesn't help that when I was younger, I already had a bad case of 2 times of saying something ignorantly racist or a comeback. Don't do that either, people. For reference, this friend group was unnecessarily mean to me at times. I didn't match their dark humor, but they would still do it to me. It was weird. I was provoked by them, and it ended up saying something I thought was badass, which turned out to be offensive. I ended up apologizing like 2 to 3 years later. I didn't know at first why it was offensive, but looking back, I'm like, shit, yeah. And then something else occurred. A month later, where I was wrongfully did some offensive shit online to someone again, shit that had racist undertone. Never intentionally to be racist. If I'm insulting people in a way like that, it eventually doesn't matter, the intent does it. I did it to provoke them because we had a reason to believe she wasn't, though. She was. I was 11, mind you. No excuse. Mind you. I had offensive shit said to me during this time, and while I don't know why I thought it was okay, the thought process for one was that she admitted that she wasn't though. She said she was because there was so to say the most offensive thing to make her break and some clean, but we were wrong. Me and my friend apologized, and then I apologized again, I think 2 to 3 years later, because what was I on? I ruined a friendship for ignorant. I remember even asking at 8 on Roblox, why do Asians eat dog? It's just not true and so bad. Or something because I saw a video of dog meat centers in Asia. Again, false advertising, but I don't think this at the time. I regret every offensive thing I done, whether ignorantly, unintentionally, with good intentions, or with ill intentions. But there is clearly a pattern, and I don't know why. But from here on out, ever since like after freshman year of trying to consensually offensive trade off with my friend, I obviously never supported racism or offensive shit, still don't. And I'm remorseful that at a young age, I ask weird questions like we didn't think before I speak. Anyone else dealt with this? How do you educate yourself when you realize you're wrong? I would, yeah, educate yourself on like Google or something, cause yeah, like if you like say racist stuff and stuff like that, like you're not a good person. Really, you're not a good person because it's none of your business. Other people's cultures, really. Like, it's just rude and disrespectful. But it could be the parents' fault because sometimes kids pick it up from their parents. Like if your parents say something, your kids say it too. I deliberately broke my coworker's mug and never told anyone. About 2 years ago, I worked in a small office with maybe 8 people total. One of my coworkers had a really nice mug that she used every single day. It had some kind of hand-painted design on it, and she always talked about how it was a gift from her sister who lived abroad. One afternoon, I was washing my own cup in the back room sink, and her mug was sitting on the counter. I didn't even know why, but I had this sudden urge to just push it off the edge. No real reason. I wasn't mad at her or anything, but she was actually pretty nice to me. I just did it. I knocked it into the tile floor and it shattered into like a dozen pieces. So that's your intrusive thoughts that you just let happen. For someone who didn't do anything to you, like, okay? I panicked immediately and swept up all the pieces, wrapped them in paper towels, and buried them at the bottom of the trash can under other garbage. Then I walked back to my desk like nothing happened. She came back into the break room maybe 10 minutes later, and I heard her asking if anyone had seen her mug. A couple of people said no, and someone suggested maybe she left it at home. She looked really confused and a little upset, but she didn't make a big deal out of it. She never brought it up again after that day. I left that job about 6 months later, and unrelated reasons, I still think about it sometimes and I feel bad. It was such a pointless thing to do, and I know that mug meant something to her. I wish I had just owned up to it right away or at least apologized, but I was too embarrassed and now it was too late. I genuinely regret doing it. Like, I would still tell her. I would tell her because, like, at the same time, you did break her mug. You did, like, it was a choice, you did it. And you should, like, at least tell her that, hey, like, I broke your mug and, like, apologize to it instead of, like, her finding, like, wondering where I went. Because hiding it is, like, such a cute thing to do. You should just, like, come clean. But it's probably too late now, so I hope she's gotten a new mug. Okay, so that was the Reddit questions. I hope you guys liked it. It took me like 4 hours just to get the Reddit questions because I wanted something interesting and stuff like that. So I stayed up for 4 hours the night before that to try and do the Reddit questions. So I hope you find it interesting because I try to make it as interesting as possible for you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It will definitely be posted this Friday in the afternoon. And I want you guys to know I'm always thinking about you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.